Is all day really how long it takes you to drive from? Oh no, you didn't drive. You were just hanging out. You were working today.
I was working. Yes, I was working today from the library. Yep. Yeah.
Hard at work. I saw him.
Yeah, I read National Geographic, American Spectator, American Conservative, the Nature Conservancy newsletter. What else did I read?
America Magazine.
America Magazine. Yeah, they actually had some good articles in there. I was impressed.
So this is your work day then?
This was my work day today. Yes, it was. Yeah. I mean, most days I do spend a lot of time reading stuff.
Were you technically on the clock?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He gets paid by those people that, like, you know, go door to door and ask you if you've read particular magazines to try to get the numbers up.
Yes.
Yeah, every magazine he reads, he gets a quarter, and so he's got to work real hard.
That's right. Yeah, actually, I need to go keep up with that after this.
Yeah, what's next on the docket?
Probably Mad Magazine.
Ebony.
Ebony. Yep.
Cosmo, of course.
Yes.
Yep. Cosmo.
Yeah.
You gotta learn all those secrets to please your man.
Yep. Yes.
Yes. Sports Illustrated Women.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Sports Illustrated Body.
Yes. The body
Sports
issue.
Illustrated Swimsuit.
I will not lie. When I was a very little boy, remember the Sears catalog? Like it was phasing out as we were getting older, and when we always get the Sears catalog, and I would always read that for the toys, but it also had women in their underwear in it.
Yeah,
and I was always
this is something I know about.
Okay,
the Sears catalog.
Okay, fair enough. And I was always so scared to land on the pages with the women in their underwear because I thought I was going to get in trouble.
It's because you respected women so damn much.
Exactly.
That it
wait, like, what do you mean you were so scared? Were you sitting there just like shaking every time you turned a page?
I was afraid I was going to get yelled at. Yeah, if I accidentally looked at the.
I know, but like, how do you read this year's catalog worried that at one point?
Shad, it's a fine line between Castle Grayskull and a brassiere.
Yes.
One flick of the page and the innocence is vaporized.
Your soul,
right next to each other.
Your soul on the razor's edge.
Yeah.
Could fall into hell at any moment. No, that's a pretty common story amongst the last generation.
Yeah, I can't say that I ever perused a Sears catalog with worries.
No, so Josh says he waved on that one. He wasn't worried about it. He had no shame. See, Josh is on the other side of the spectrum.
I mean, eventually I lost my shame, but it took a while.
And that right there is when sin fully set itself in your heart.
Yes.
It was his pear tree moment.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
I looked over the garden walls and I saw the Sears catalog. Gosh, where in that house your house was this Sears catalog? Is it sort of like next to the lazy boy situation, or bathroom basket?
No, it was definitely not in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
I
don't know what you were insinuating by that.
I don't either.
No idea what you're insinuating.
So we had our dining. We had an open concept house, and our dining
room
was our dining room was right next to our living room, separated by like a.
Did you have an island
on top of that? We had a peninsula.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Not quite as cool.
Yes, but it was on a ledge in between the dining room and the living room.
Was where the Sears catalog
was. Yes, was where the Sears
Did you read standing up and looking at it from there?
I don't remember those exact details. But...
No, Jimmy, the exact nature of your reading experience is what this episode is actually about today.
Yes.
So wait, did you grab it, put on a couple slippers, walk over to a chair, sit down, blow off your hot cocoa, you know?
That could have happened. It's those specific memories are kind of lost, but the essentials are still there.
Well, I'm picturing, Jimmy trepidatiously approaching the island, like a young man at his bar mitzvah, preparing to read his Torah portion. He slowly and nervously, but a little bit interested, approaches the portion. Who knows what the scroll will hold?
And much like most kids at their bar mitzvahs, he just fakes his way through it.
Right. We Fit Plus.
Yeah.
Do you say We Fit Plus?
I was hoping that would fly.
I was about to say.
I don't think you could have ever bought
that attachment.
Yeah, I don't think you could ever buy a We Fit Plus in a Sears catalog.
Was that the little board you stood on?
That was the We Fit, and then it was a portmanteau of We Fit and We Motion Plus, the much derided attachment.
That was the thing that attached to the controller directly, right?
Yeah, it came packaged with Skyward Sword.
Yes, of course.
That magnum opus.
You always knew a family was eating good when you went over and they had the Motion Plus.
True. They had the Motion Plus.
I didn't know they were doing that well.
Yeah.
In the rubber controller protectors that weren't cheap, right? Like the real nice controller protectors, you knew. Which implied, because those things are made of like bricks, right? Like you would have to actively try to break one of those. Like, to be so a Wii controller?
I don't know.
I think so.
You could at least break the battery casing pretty easy.
Yeah, maybe. But like you could literally kill a man with one of those and it would come out unharmed in comparison.
Not as sturdy as a GameCube.
No, nor
the Licton keeps on ticking.
Nor an N64.
We dropped ours down the stairs.
Twice.
Yeah, comedically, dunk, 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 dunk. Did just fine.
Yeah.
So they don't make them like they used to, brother. They
true.
just don't.
That's true. That's true.
No, I don't. Do they ever sell those in Sears catalogs? This sounds like we're talking about the 1940s.
Yeah. They sold houses, cars,
home you bought,
women's underwear.
Everything that you need to construct a Model T in your home or a brassiere. Those are the two things.
Construct a brassiere. The brassiere construction kit.
Yes.
To be 5 again and open that on Christmas morning. The brassiere construction kit. Goodness gracious. Wow. I'm glad that Mike didn't pick that one up. That's good.
Mike did not pick that one up. In a lull, Josh made his mark. So other than reading magazines, what else were you up to today, Jimmy?
Well, I mean,
dude, Luke Martin is
other than not working, how did you spend your work day?
Exactly.
Luke Martin, holy smokes. What?
Just come in.
Just come in. Just come in. Are you trying to get through?
Hey, Luke. Good to see you, man.
We got freaking Luke of Lost Mary on the pod right now.
Are you guys on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get a text.
No,
we did not send up the bat signal in regards to that. Are you looking to do something?
No, it's okay. I was gonna. You guys join in? I wish I could, but I gotta do like.
He's got to do stuff.
Right
now, Luke is talking like a drug addict who's trying to tell you why he couldn't make it to Sunday service today.
To your bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
All right, so back to what the important things we were talking about. Jimmy, what else were you up to today?
Go through. Just go through.
Tell us about your day, Jimmy. What'd you have for breakfast?
A hard-boiled egg and raspberries.
Not at the same time, I hope.
I mean, one after the other.
Oh, okay.
But no, I just I actually do have a real
over under raspberry boiled egg as a 1-bite combination.
I would absolutely do that.
Raspberry with the boiled egg. Sammy, over under on that.
Under.
Brave but confident. Brave.
I love how Jimmy was trying to pivot. He's like, I actually have a topic. I have a thing I want to talk about.
Something.
Yeah. Okay, then, Jimmy.
Prisoner to the bit.
Yeah. What? Shad's out here trying to mine Jimmy for what he had for breakfast.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see because you don't get to talk to Jimmy very often.
No.
And
I'm busy at work.
And this is a situation.
You got to read Maxim magazine.
It's tough to relinquish information from him. You know what I mean? Sometimes he answers so plainly that whenever he's on the podcast and he's obligated to answer my questions, I feel
that's the time.
It's the time to try to get something from him.
Over a barrel.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what did you want to talk about today, Jimmy?
Well, when I lean back, can this still pick up my
I hear
voice?
You.
Okay.
I hear you.
For everybody out there, you're listening to the Monomaniacs podcast. For those that care, we got Sammy and Jimmy on the pod. I'm Dylan. Shad's over there.
This is episode 100.
Yay, Monomaniacs! Yay!
We're in the top 3% of podcasts ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's all thanks to YouTube Shorts.
A couple of those went kind of viral.
Comparatively viral, the best kind.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, we had to have Sammy and Jimmy on for this. I mean, it just had.
We actually didn't have to. They asked us, "Hey,
kind of begged."
Shad, it's better for the mythology if we had them on, just to have them on.
Yeah, you're right.
The Monomaniacs story is our story.
That's true.
It's really Brant's story.
I mean, it's really Brant's here. We're actually both a proxy for Brant. Yes. One of us is a proxy. The man needs.
We're making great progress at the Kiefer.
Yeah.
It's coming along. We expect progress to continue.
We'll be going up. We're doing great big things. We're closer than we were yesterday. Not as far as we'll be tomorrow.
Yeah. It's so funny to me that when this show started, we could have made that exact same joke. It's been 2 years, over 2 years, 2.5 years.
Well over 2 years. Yeah. But who's counting?
Yeah, and this would not be an 100th episode if we did not directly point out Brant and make fun of him really. You know, like it's a part of the DNA of the show, right? We have to.
I feel like we should give him a call at some point.
Maybe
he would pick up.
He's a ride or die.
Yeah, it's true. And for that, we appreciate him. And you know, I know he's listening to this episode. It's most likely Sammy, you're on the podcast right now. He's gonna hear this. So, is there anything you want to say to Brant, Shad, specifically?
Oh gosh, Brant, I'm sorry we couldn't have had you on twice as much as we did.
Mm-hmm.
I know you had so much more to say.
True.
So much more to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you definitely would have come on the show and been prepared all of those times and had something really valuable to say. Although I do have to say, Brant, I will say, and this is in all honesty, that he was on probably one of the best episodes of Monomaniacs ever. Mm-hmm. One of the episodes that Sammy was also on, where we
spent the entire time making fun of Brant.
Yeah. But if you listen back to it, that episode rocks.
It's wonderful.
Oh, goodness. All right. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, does anybody else have anything they want to say to Brant? I don't want to take this away from people. They've got this opportunity.
Brant, I think I left my Wii Fit Plus at your house. So take care of that.
Yeah. Please email us. Please email me a picture to know that, so I can know it is safe and sound wherever it lies. All right, guys. Well, I do want. Well, I have one thing to say to Brant, which is, Brant, I love you. All right, let's go over to Jimmy. Jimmy, you're up. What did you want to talk about?
Say to Brant?
Oh, well, you can do that too.
I don't know. I think Brant's a really great guy.
Wow.
I'm gonna see him here soon. So.
Listen, you didn't have to say something to Brant.
Oh.
I want to preface that.
You're like,
I'm just here to do what you tell me to do.
Don't you want me to say something to Brant?
Line.
Say that to Brant.
I said, if you want to, and he's like,
I'm just gonna. I guess he's a good guy.
Seriously, Brant's a great guy. He's
true.
He's
hey,
one of the
one
best
for
friends I
Brant.
have.
Episode 100. One for Brant.
This one's for Brant.
Yeah,
Brant. What's his middle name?
Alfred.
No, it's a Jewish name, right?
Hoyle?
I thought it was.
I think it's Hoyle.
I think Hoyle is somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
I swear to you, it's Hoyle.
Yeah. Josh, text him about it right this second.
It's Hoyle?
It's Hoyle.
I can imagine.
Let's be confident, guys.
Brant, Hoyle,
or Huel.
Not that, it's Mortimer.
Yeah. Dylan, you got to talk further away from your microphone. You're blasting this thing out,
dude.
Okay, he's got it.
He's got it.
He's on the ones and twos. As he showed us earlier.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Jimmy, you did say you had something you wanted to talk about. Let's bring it over to you.
Okay.
What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just what was on my mind when I reached out to Shad was just I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I think it's a good time to announce one of the big things. And Shad, I can distinctly remember even back to freshman year, you have always associated with me with Michigan.
Yes.
Always. I remember some things you would even say freshman year that would associate with me with Michigan, and how I love it here. It's a great place. But I'll be moving to Ohio in a few months.
No.
Oh,
no
my
way.
word.
Yep.
Jimmy McGrath leaves Michigan.
I know.
For Ohio of all places.
For Ohio of all places.
It's not that bad.
So for what reasons does a man pick up his roots and go to the end of the world?
To the godforsaken
only reason that is acceptable.
For a woman.
Exactly. Yep.
So you're going to put a ring on that finger, bud?
That's the plan. I hope.
Good.
Yeah. Actually, every Sears in Detroit closed.
Yes.
The closest one is in
I can
Ohio.
only get a Sears catalog shipped to an Ohio address.
He doesn't want to say it, but that's the woman.
It's not a woman, it's a woman. Many women.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
In a magazine.
Jimmy is single-handedly keeping all of those models employed.
Somebody's got to do it.
Brant is single-handedly sustaining Paramount Plus. And Jimmy is single-handedly sustaining the Sears catalog. Not Sears, mind you. Sears catalog.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay. I guess the real question is, first off, you should probably give some sort of public love letter to the state of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my mind, Michigan, as somebody who has adopted it as a home, is an outsized, like a state of outsized importance.
Yeah.
And a state of outsized quality for its region, and it's like it's exceptional. Michigan is an exceptional place. So, what are you thinking? What's going through your brain as you what are you remembering about this place?
Well, it's a good question.
I'm feeling emotional right
yeah,
now. I feel a little bit of
I've never really thought about it, but I guess this is part of my public farewell.
You've thought about it adequately enough to come to on this show, sit down, and say, "I want to talk about Michigan and Ohio."
Yeah, no, I never really thought I'd ever have to give a speech.
Oh, you don't have to give a speech.
I always thought you'd steamroll me, Shad.
That's right. Yeah. No, well, it's all I've ever known.
Mm-hmm.
I've always lived here. My entire family is here. I lived in Hillsdale, and that's the furthest away from where I grew up that I've ever lived. And I think there's, to me at least, I really like the idea of always living close to my family and the things I know, the things I'm familiar with, the things that I love. And I love Michigan. I love even the worst parts. I live in Detroit, so it doesn't. You don't love the worst parts more than me. No one loves the worst parts more than me. And it's in large part, it's a lot of it has made me the man I am today, for better or worse. The people I've known, the people I've interacted with since I was a kid, the community I have now, whether it's in Detroit or here in Hillsdale, everybody has made me who I am. And I'm very thankful for everybody, my parents, my friends, you guys. And it'll be tough to not see everybody on a daily basis, but there's nobody I would do it for other than Allie. I wouldn't move for anybody else, and I'm excited to be moving, to be close to her, and I'm ready to kind of begin my life with her. And if that's in Ohio or it's in Michigan, it doesn't really matter too much to me, but I'm looking forward to it.
So what you're saying is this is just a formulation of the goodbye. You know what I mean? It's less about moving to a new place, but saying goodbye to something that you truly love.
Yeah. And ultimately, I mean, it is just a place.
That's true.
How about this? Let's talk about things we hate about Michigan. That way it'll be easier for Jimmy to leave.
I think most of the things I hate about Michigan could be easily applied to Ohio.
That's true. Yeah. They're kind of one and the same.
Yes, but is the person doing it wearing a big yellow M on their shirt? Right. That's the main differentiator, right?
Between that and a big red O.
Hate them both.
Oh, are you a state fan?
I'm really quite ambivalent. I don't care. Michigan State or Michigan.
Whatever. Sit on the fence and die there.
I will happily sit there.
He likes Western Michigan.
That's right.
Yeah. Alma College.
Yeah, Alma. Central Fire Up Chips.
Things I hate about Michigan. Where do we get off having a whole separate section of it separated by a body of water to the north? Right. That's insane.
Yeah.
Right. No, what other state does that? Except for Hawaii has many little bodies of water.
Alaska too.
Alaska as well.
New York.
Yes, New York has a big ass island.
Florida has the Keys.
Massachusetts has a few islands as well.
True. Listen, so obviously there are a lot of counterexamples.
California even has a few little.
There's a lot of counterexamples,
right?
but what? None are
but like, how big does something have to be an island? I think everything that's coastal even might conceivably have
the Great Trash Island.
Yes,
the Trash Bird.
Yeah, the Trash Bird. That counts. The size of Texas. It's the size of Texas.
Yeah.
True.
Wait, what? There's a trash?
You not heard about this?
The Great Pacific Patch.
The Pacific Patch. I thought you meant there was something in Michigan.
Yeah.
The size of Texas. That's called Southern Michigan.
No, that was the garbage patch. Was the continent that ranked above Australia, right? When you infamous episode.
Truly.
Continent rankings.
Yeah, I feel like that either should be a whole separate state or it should be attached to whatever other state it's connected to, that being Wisconsin. Yeah, I think they should be Wisconsin's. I think it's arbitrary that they're a part of this state. I said it. No complaints?
I mean, I think all borders are arbitrary. Right?
Whoa!
I went to Hillsdale. I'm a registered Republican. Don't worry, everybody.
Those lines, man.
How about you, Sammy? What do you hate about this state?
What do I hate about Michigan?
Yeah. The fact that Jimmy lives here, it's just going to be.
Don't say the wrong thing.
I can hate things in the abstract because the things I hate about it really don't apply to me. Actually, no, they do apply to me. I hate the dispensaries all over Michigan. Like, they're everywhere.
True.
They ruined St. Joseph Beach for me. All the teenagers there smoking.
Yeah. That is one thing that, like, on paper, I think everybody was just like, yeah, we're all going to get on board with this. I think most people who had like basic libertarian impulses, and then life just got worse.
Yep.
Like overnight.
As soon as you
over it.
smelled the weed coming through the neighborhood.
Yeah. So
I like the dispensaries that say like a family business on the marquee,
Women owned is a classic one I see.
Yeah, I'm into how coy some of them are for no good reason.
Agreed.
Yeah,
like that one Joyology where you're like, oh, okay.
Or Loom. It's got the little like lightning bug on their logo. It's,
Well, so one that got me real bad. So as mentioned,
you walked in and you're like, where is it?
Where is it? Where's the weed?
Yeah.
Where's the little lube bug? No, similar story, similar kind of thing. I had a baby, right? As mentioned on the podcast. Near the hospital, there was a place called Cookies. And we drove past it every day. And
you're like, ew.
And I was like, ooh, there's a big old cookies place. They probably sell cookies there. And we drove by one day, and it was the first time my wife noticed it on the drive. And she was like, whoa, that sounds really good. We should get that over our lunch period. And it was like packed. We were like, whoa, everybody's there. It's got to be good cookies. It's early in the morning. They must get them fresh baked. And so I get back into we get to the hospital.
Fresh baked,
Get to the hospital. I open up my phone. I look it up, and the date happens to be 4/20, and the sales were hopping. The discounts were, dare I say, fire. And so
we visited that day, and on our way home, we just kept driving by, lying out the door, dispensary after dispensary after dispensary. Yeah. Okay, so that's I mean, I think that also applies to like Indiana.
No, Indiana.
Ohio.
Ohio just passed. Prop 2, I believe.
Okay, so now that's not super unique, but it is a thing to hate about Michigan.
Yep,
true.
We did it first.
True.
Yes.
Okay, what's something intrinsic that you hate, Shad?
I hate.
You're out so ready to criticize what Dylan and I have to say, Shad. Bring it on.
Yeah. I hate how
what's new on this podcast? Dude?
Yeah,
after 100 episodes, it's all the same shit.
I hate how they claim apples. Michigan does. When Washington State is the apple state.
And New York. I think New York might actually produce.
Yeah. Michiganders are all like, we're like huge in apples. You're like, you're third place, guys.
Number 3.
Yeah, you're third place.
That's huge.
Where did John
we're higher than Mississippi.
John Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed, that Swedenborgian son of a bitch.
Oh, he was Swedenborgian?
Yeah, you didn't know this?
No, I
Yes, no. Johnny Appleseed was a Swedenborgian.
You're the historian of 19th century American religion.
Yeah,
We may have watched the same banned Mormon cartoon, as you typically calls it, but that's the extent of my studies.
of your 19th century studies. He was a Swedenborgian. I mean, there's not much more to it other than the real actual Johnny Appleseed was a Swedenborgian. But no, he was active mostly on the East Coast.
Oh,
but
okay.
I personally find that reprehensible. I also this applies to all.
But why, Shad?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of just trying to find some holes to punch.
Okay.
It's a journey of 1,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
It's the world's biggest pizza. You got to start eating it, one bite at a time. It's how eating an elephant or something along those lines. I think that I also hate stick season, as made famous in that Noah Khan song, right?
Oh, I hate that too.
Yeah. The season of the sticks. Josh over there, a guy who still listens to dudes who wear hats music. He
can't show that on YouTube, dude.
Yeah, he I think that winter being so gray for so long, especially in southern Michigan, is just soul crushing. Soul crushing.
Be tough.
Yeah, and the bugs, dude. So many freaking bugs.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Washington State summers, mild. There's bugs, not this many bugs. Not this many bugs.
Don't have that in any other state.
Yeah. Don't have stick season in any other state. Yeah.
I hit you with an original at the start. Moved in a different direction.
I hate that it's got 2 eyes in the name.
Yeah. I hate that the flag's got a deer on it. How about that?
I love our flag.
Yeah. One of the few flags that CPG Gray has not sicked his vexologist minions on.
I know, dude. Oh,
Out to change every state flag.
Yeah, with the Utah one.
Or the Minnesota flag. It's horrible. I was reading the Wikipedia page about it yesterday. And I hate it.
I do got to say, though, I don't like state seals on flags.
I'm a fan. I like the bed sheet with the seal.
You do?
Yes.
You do? You mean the field. On a blue field. Or green field.
Blue's a
what
nice
color? What color is it? The flag?
Blue.
It's blue.
Blue.
Okay.
It's blue.
Jim's like, this was made by honest people.
Yeah.
Like,
hardworking people who put the world on wheels.
That's true. That's true. They got together in Lansing and they decided on it.
We were going to put
and then they read National Geographic and America magazine for a few hours and then submitted the design.
Yeah,
exactly.
I had a coffee, had a poop,
I hate the fact that we are full of urban decay and factories that are destroyed, or not destroyed, but rusting out and occupying so much of our land. And our economy has been destroyed because of it over the last 20 years or more.
Our economy destroyed by the factories being abandoned, or were they a product of our economy being destroyed?
Well, those are questions for smart people, Jimmy. All I'm saying is the status quo there sucks. And I hate the fact that they're all breweries now, too. We have too many of them.
That's true. There are too many breweries.
Yeah.
Michigan's another one of those states where they have a lot of beer claims. They make a lot of beer claims. I think they live up to it in a lot of ways, but a lot of claims.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, did you guys hear, if you haven't already, that in 2023, the Census Bureau estimated that Detroit's population increased for the first time year over year in 67 years.
Congratulations.
1,800 residents. Plus 1,800.
About to be -1.
Yeah.
Yep.
What if the next year it was negative again and it was just Jimmy?
-1.
We've tracked down the guy who here's his name and social security number.
Don't rub the salt in the wound anymore.
And just hearing this now, he's in Ohio.
Of all places.
Of all places, Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Gosh.
All right. Well, so we've hit on what we hate about Michigan. What do we love about Ohio, everybody? Let's gas up Ohio a little bit. Make it easier for the move for Jimmy. What do we like about Ohio?
Produced many Republican presidents.
That's
many
true.
Bearded, corrupt Republican presidents from the late 19th century came from Ohio.
The Taft House in Cincy's a great little afternoon spot, I will say.
All right, there we go. That's a good thing about Ohio. There's a good afternoon spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that they're very brave to put sweet chili on spaghetti. It's very brave of them. They're a very brave state.
Yes. I don't.
Yeah, you got to speak into your mic more. Yeah. You got to speak into your mic.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dylan.
One of my favorite Joe Papalardo memories. What would the 100th episode be without mentioning Joseph Papalardo?
Yeah. Rest in peace. Gone way before his time.
Yeah, that's true. It was really tragic what happened to him. When we were living together, he made Skyline chili, but he went to the grocery store and he bought like a can of Skyline chili, and he was like, "Shad, you're not gonna believe this." For like a week, he bought it at the start of the week, and for a week he was like, "Shad, I'm gonna make this for you. We're gonna have a special night. This is gonna be awesome. Crack a couple beers, have some Skyline chili." He made it, and like I'm not even joking. We had one bite. The rest went in the trash.
How did he prepare it?
He just literally warmed it up on the stove and poured it over a bunch of spaghetti.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean he made it like you're supposed to make it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati people with Skyline are like Nebraskans with Runza, where they're like,
yeah.
it's because it's ours. It's so good. You've never lived until, if you're Harrison Butker's wife, you never lived until you had a kid. But if you're a Nebraskan, you've never lived until you've had Runza, and then you have it, and it's shit.
Yeah. What?
We got it.
What? Oh, starts with a K. Christopher and Hoyle. Yes.
Like I was half right.
Brant was correct. Or Sammy was correct. That is his middle name.
So it's Christopher Hoyle?
I think so. I'm clarifying.
Yeah,
Brant
so it's like Christopher
Robin,
he has two
but
middle
Jewish.
names, right?
Yeah. Christopher Hoyle. Yeah, he's got his Gentile name and his Jewish name.
Yes.
Combined into the middle name.
Just in case.
Well, so he's consistently. So this was very smart on there. This was very smart for them to do, because originally Brant Cohen, that's a 50-50, right?
Yep.
Brant Christopher Cohen. That's a little too Gentile. Brant Huel Cohen. Hoyle Cohen. That's too Jewish. We got that 50-50 going consistently through the name.
He knows how to play both sides well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both sides of the coin.
You know, the thing about the Nebraskan Runza is I was just in Nebraska and I was there for like a week and nobody once ever mentioned it.
Count your blessings.
And I was like there for the first time since I was in middle school and my wife never once said, hey, we should go to Runza. And then I was out working, went to a Starbucks and was working, and her and her sister went to Runza and got chicken strips. So I don't know, man. Apparently, at least my wife's family is not into the Runza, but there
the eponymous food.
There is a chili-related Nebraskan
Yes, I think
delicacy.
we talked about it on the podcast before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is more of a Lincoln thing, apparently. But you put chili on cinnamon rolls.
Oh.
Yes.
Horrible.
But we dissected this. You put chili on a roll, that's fine. You put sweet sugary chili on spaghetti, that's chill. You put cinnamon in your chili, that's also chill. Have the cinnamon and the sugar just in the roll, put the chili over it. What's the big deal? What's the big difference? You know?
Yeah, it's like saying, I love a delicious burger, but I won't drink it when you put it in a blender. It's like, yeah, obviously I won't.
Hey, listen.
What was the Nebraskan pie you talked about on one of the episodes? It was that Nebraska had cream cheese in it.
Oh gosh,
there was a political candidate who took a photo of himself eating.
Oh no, you're talking about the Minnesotan.
Is it Minnesotan?
Yeah, ranch
pizza.
Ranch pizza. Yeah, ranch pizza.
I had to go, internet dumpster diving looking for that thing.
Yeah, ranch pizza. Yeah, you take like for those of you guys who are tuning in for the first time, you take like
better late than never,
like Pillsbury Crescent dough, and you flatten it out, and then you put like quartered broccoli and shaved carrots on it.
Yeah, it's a vegetable pizza.
Veggie pizza.
Yeah,
I love veggie pizza.
Yeah. My wife's family makes veggie pizza every 4th of July.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not great. I don't think it's great.
I like it.
I mean, listen, same argument. It's crescent roll, it's vegetables, it's ranch. You know, those are all good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Put them all together.
That's all true. That's all true.
It's a going away feast for Jimmy with ambrosia salad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Veggie pizza.
Hot dish.
Yeah, pigs in a blanket.
Oh,
Is it hot dish in Michigan or is it casserole? What do we call
Casserole.
it? We call it casserole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
The thing he has to have before he leaves, he's got to have punchkis. And he's got to have.
He's never had them before.
I've never had.
No, like as you're
jelly-filled donut.
Yeah.
You're
off you go. And what are
No, I don't think we should let him get away with this.
what are those meat pies, dude? That the miners would eat. What are those things called?
Pasties.
Pasties.
It's like a UP thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Those aren't my people.
Which Dylan doesn't even think should be part of Michigan.
That's
so
true.
Yes.
That's
It
true.
should be sawed off and float away.
You better not show your face in Marquette.
Dude, that's right.
It's on site in Marquette. I got ops in Marquette, dude.
That's true. That's true.
My brother lives in Marquette, actually.
Oh,
That's one up for sure.
That's
Yep.
one up. I know he
Yeah.
hates me because of everything I've said about Jimmy on the podcast.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You know, the fact that we were able to get him on for this is just
It's one of the
he was
advantages.
reluctant. I mean, even though he called you, he was reluctant to do
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about
Yeah.
it.
Well, the
at first.
advantage is that Jimmy's never listened to an episode, so
I have listened to an episode. I've listened to 2 episodes, actually.
the rest of the episodes were the ones where we just incessantly berated your character directly.
Yes, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have always
We like never borrow money from Jimmy. You know,
Who said that?
I wouldn't let him in the same room as my daughter.
It's
you know?
whatever episode, I would text him. I'm like, they were talking about you in the episode today, and then you have to go digging for it.
Yeah.
No, I
I
always
saw him kick a cat once. But he did it twice. He did it once to like get distance and then ran up to the cat to give it a
make sure
second
the
kick.
job was done.
To make sure it really was hurt by the whole thing.
No, I always appreciated this podcast because I could, like, with people I barely talk to, catch up on how their lives are going through this podcast.
True.
Yeah, that is the parasocial.
Yep.
Really just kind of melted down to its pure essence.
Yeah.
It's very funny. I mean, I've become instant friends now with everybody who I listen to on podcasts.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
I listened to a ham radio podcast today, and I was like, "These are my buddies. These
My
old
boys.
Texans are my buddies." now.
Jim, I love that guy.
Yeah. Jimmy though.
Jimmy, yes.
Yeah.
We're not here for Jimmy.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys had to be picked up by the scruff of your neck and brought to any state in the union that is not where you're currently living, and not Michigan, or no where you've lived before. How about that? Know where you've lived before. Where would you go? Where would you get brought to?
I really like Virginia a lot.
It's for lovers.
It is.
And damn it, if there's anything we've said about Jimmy on this podcast, it's that he's a lover.
I'm a lover. Yep. Lover, not a fighter.
Beautiful.
A skinflint, a miser,
a lover,
a coward, a lover.
Sammy, how about you?
I would have to say North Carolina.
Nice.
Famously described as the valley of humility between two mountains of pride. One of them being Virginia. North Carolina governor described it that way. So it's the skin of the game. But it's a beautiful state. If you like mountains, they got the Appalachian Mountains in the west. If you like liberal cities, they have Asheville. If you like boring cities, they have Raleigh. If you like research, they got a triangle for it. And they have beautiful coast and Outer Banks and horses.
I like Raleigh a lot just because it's hard to say. It's a weirdly spelled city.
What is the proper pronunciation of it?
It's not Raleigh.
It's Raleigh.
My job is technically based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I've always said I'm based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. So this is good to know.
They're like, frickin' Jimmy and his Michigander accent up there.
His Yankee son of a bitch. Miser, coward. Lover, though.
Lover. Yeah. Never forget.
Never
Hey,
forget.
son of a bitch.
Yeah. I drove through Iowa when I was in Nebraska.
I like Iowa.
Definitely at the bottom of my list.
Oh.
The world's largest truck stop didn't convince you, Shad?
I like
so
their rest
flat
stops
for
with the big
so
wind turbine blades.
long. I drove through a dust storm, like dirt in my teeth while driving in a sealed car, dust storm in Iowa, and I was like, "This is the worst place in the world."
Herbert Hoover's boyhood home is there.
All right, that's the second boyhood home for a president.
When you're driving on 80 near his home, I don't remember the name of the city. There's a radio station that you can tune into, and it gives you all the programming that they have like pre-recorded for the sites around the house. You can get basically the whole tour from your car, and you don't have to stop. It's the best of both worlds.
This is Herbert. You know what? Honestly, I drove past Herbert Hoover's childhood.
Yeah, there's an AM radio
I drove
station.
past it.
That
We gotta go back.
Yeah.
Gotta go back.
It's next.
Hoover, a famously well-regarded president.
Yes.
Yeah, developed
famously
this
loved.
opinion of Iowa because you had a hectic, I mean not flight, but flight in the more metaphorical sense from Nebraska recently, right? Back to Michigan.
Yeah. So
Did you go through Iowa on that journey?
No. So we drove up from Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. Okay.
Yeah,
So this wasn't the trip you.
Which
tuned
Kansas
your
City is
hatred.
an insane place.
It is.
I don't comprehend Kansas City. It doesn't make any sense for its size and layout and where it is in the country. I just don't get it. I don't get Kansas City. But no, we drove through Iowa, drove through Missouri at one point. I know that because we drove past one of my favorite places in America. I think it's called like Quincy or something. It's where Missouri Star Quilting is based out of. Are you familiar with Missouri Star Quilting?
No.
Missouri Star Quilting is the #1 quilting YouTube channel. And Missouri Star Quilting is one of the #1 online distributors of quilting products. And Missouri Star Quilting bought an entire town. Just literally bought an entire downtown.
Like
But-
Luke Robson.
Yeah, exactly. In a Luke Robson-esque way, and turned it into Branson, Missouri, but just for quilting, where like every building is a store where you can buy quilting products or food.
That sounds dystopian, dude.
Yeah, it's wild.
I don't know. It sounds kind of nice.
See, Jimmy would have been a happy coal miner. That's for sure.
Yep. It's great exercise.
One store I have to go to get all of my stuff, and I don't even have to take a credit card.
Who needs the Sears catalog?
Yeah.
This is good script. I mean, look at that. I think that's the CEO's face on this script.
Yeah. But you were walking. I did this for a job when I interviewed the proprietress. I forget her name off the top of my head, but she's like the matriarch of this whole family, and they own the whole place. And they just moved in and bought the whole place out. And they're like, we're going to turn this into a mecca for quilting. So, yeah, that's in Missouri. The two rival places.
You named 2 states so far that you dislike and you don't want to go
Well,
to.
I'm starting to think Missouri, actually, because Missouri also has 2 rival towns that both claim to have invented sliced bread that are like less than 20 miles apart. So there's that. That sounds pretty cool. If I really had to live anywhere, though, I don't know. I think that the American Southeast would be a really nice place to live. So maybe North Carolina, maybe like northern Florida.
I would return
Alabama.
I would
honestly.
return to the roots of our family, and I would go to the holler of
in
Kentucky, and I would go and live in one of the hollers. I would become a mountain person, and I would reconnect to my ethnic roots in that way. Right? It's my heritage. It's my pride. I would not get work when I was there. No, I would go and shed all material possessions and own just one pair of overalls that one of the straps does not connect.
Yes.
And I would live there in peace.
You'd have a jug, and a straw hat, and you'd go.
And I would carry a banjo.
You would whoop.
I would I would whoop.
You would have your catalytic converter stolen.
Yeah.
By the good folk of the holler.
Yeah.
I thought you were good folk.
And I would scream at dadgummit.
How do you even know what palladium is?
Yes, that's what I would do if I could go to any state. Yeah.
It's a pretty state.
True.
That's true. You could go. You could just go live in Sammy's old house.
You could do another boyhood home.
Sammy Roberts. Did you
Roberts
know if you
boyhood.
I have
drive by,
driven by
you could go
that
to
house,
Sirius
and I do
XM.
wonder. I'm like, I wonder what it'd be like if they had one of those little historical markers.
Yeah.
From this place someday. I am just arrogant enough to think that
the
that could be
boyhood
case,
home
You know,
of famed war criminal Sammy Roberts.
I could achieve great things to make it so, or I could commit a famous, unspeakable act.
Yes, to the point where they burn it down, and they don't even put up a marker because they don't want your supporters to go and like hang out at it anymore.
They might build a memorial to the victims if there were the ones. But that would be coming back in itself. So they bulldoze that in a few years too.
Dedicated to 150 Welsh corgis before their time.
Rammstein would film a music video there.
Ghost YouTubers would go out there. And
Number 5, Samuel Roberts' boyhood home. This is not something you expected to see every day.
You can still hear the corgis yapping.
Legend says if you stay there at night, you can still hear the corgi scream.
You can still hear the laugh.
The iconic Sammy Roberts laugh.
Man,
I don't think our boyhood home does not exist as an entity. We have several homes that we
moved a lot growing up, which means that we're
a Strehle Brothers Trail.
That's true.
There you go. We could do it. Could
the
be
Dairy
like
Queen be on the trail.
Yeah, the Dairy Queen I worked at.
Yeah, it's like
Harry is still going to be alive. My old Korean boss.
The carnies who ripped you off, right? Or was
Yeah. That's all in one spot. Yeah. Honestly, you could walk to all of the houses we lived in Washington probably in like 3 days.
Yeah. You could do a pilgrimage.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You listen to the entire Monomaniacs backlog
as you walk.
Yeah.
Real fast. Can you do the math on this, Josh? With 100, give or take an hour an episode. What's the quick math? How many days?
How many hours?
How many days?
How many days? Okay, so a day is 24 hours.
So it's 4.5 days. About. A little under. No.
Are you factoring in the Patreon?
Are we factoring in the Patreon? It's very important.
That is kind of insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
4 days of your life gone. Like those are 4 days. They're just not coming back. They're gone. They're over.
They're recorded. Actually, we can go back and experience them at any time.
In a sense.
Yeah. It's not like having 100 hours in Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord.
Yeah.
Where I'll never get that time ever back.
The amount of hours I have in the Total War Warhammer series, it'll never come back to me. But the memories, they bring back
the memories.
What are, if I may,
go ahead.
Memories.
Bring back memories. Bring back memories.
What are some of your favorite memories
of
this endeavor, of this project?
The Monomaniacs,
like many Catholic women's religious orders, now being brought to completion, as they say. Memories, good or bad? Bad memories are memories.
I like the idea of an order of nuns being like, "We finished."
They're doing that now. That's the thing.
It's all done now.
They are setting dates of completion.
Yeah,
we've completed our mission.
Finished.
We did it.
Nuns. No, I would say that some highlights, some ones that kind of instantly come to mind. I think that the first Luke and DJ episode was kind of
great.
was an insane time. I think that anybody who's trying to be
we should. Yeah, here I am making ideas that'll probably not come to fruition, but it might be like a fun exercise to like post on the Patreon. Like, here are our favorite episodes. Like, here's our top 10. You know, for us.
In case anybody wants to go back through.
Yeah.
Listen to ones they might not have listened to yet.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're really interested in it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed.
Yeah, you know, if you've got like 90% of the backlog that you haven't listened to.
You know, which I don't know a single person who does.
Yeah.
Well, I need my tenure book for, you know, and so this could be a good research project.
Yeah.
To, wade into contemporary history. I'll need that backlog.
Yes. Exactly.
Oral history.
Yeah. It's like I'm pivoting from medieval to ancient history. The funny thing is that honestly, if you've heard me on Spoilers podcast, and for some reason you're listening to this episode and somehow you made it this far, I think you should go back and listen to the Luke and DJ episode. I think that you should listen to,
which is the Lost Mary episode.
Yes, Lost Mary is the episode there. I'm trying to think. I think that I'm thinking about the locations in which we recorded them. I think having Zach Hill on the show is really awesome. Even though not very many people listen to that episode. I think that the Scott Bertram episode is a really good episode. I think that
the Sammy Brand episode is really good. Yeah.
I think every time that Jane O'Connor has been on the show has been awesome. And those are all worth listening to.
The Evan Gage episode, dude.
That's a good episode.
I think that's an awesome episode.
The Evan Gage episode's a great episode. I think that the War on Winter, underrated episode.
I thought that was some of your best content, actually. I was laughing continuously.
There you go. Well, if that is
Jimmy was too. Jimmy loved that episode.
Yeah, I really like that episode.
The War on Winter.
See, that's what for episode 100 we wanted all the super fans on.
I want to remind everybody, I give every single month to this show.
Well, not this last month.
No, it didn't. It didn't go through.
No, we didn't charge people for May.
I've definitely been listening, and if that you mentioned that on an episode, I knew that.
Goodness.
Up until then,
the one where it was the winter storm where we were all bundled up and there was a car.
Who can forget the first Halloween special?
I know. I was about to say that one. First Halloween special.
Cowboy Sammy.
Matterhorn.
The Matterhorn.
I love
episode.
that one.
Yeah, yes, I remember Sammy in particular loved that bit.
Was.
Loved that bit.
Yeah,
and then I really liked the argument we had about Shad crashing the car. I think that'll always live in my memory as a good time. I don't know if it was listenable or fun, but I liked it. It's a good time.
Yeah, I remember that getting positive response. I remember one time, in a very early episode when we were talking about anxiety, our mom was like, "You guys have been so brave being like honest on the podcast." She didn't say it after we got into that fight. What are some of Jimmy's favorites? Jimmy, what are your favorite episodes?
Oh well, I mean, there's so many to pick from.
I know. I'm gonna say for Jimmy, I bet it was a Ryan Gosling episode.
Yeah,
that was the one.
Oh, yeah, we got Gosling on. That was awesome.
Yeah. I know. First off, two things I know about Jimmy: one, loves Ryan Gosling. Two, loves to listen to podcasts where Ryan Gosling appears.
Three is a lover.
Is a lover.
A lover. Yep.
4, a cheat. 5,
a fraud.
Midnight Choker.
Yeah.
The Jeff Goldblum episode too. I mean, I know he reached out to me about that one, apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was so wild, especially the things he said about the Roma specifically. Yeah. That was crazy. It was the first time we made headlines, and I think that was a really.
I've always listened to the Brant ones.
He's always listened. Jimmy has always listened to the Brant ones. What's your favorite?
I listened to the Luke Robson one.
No. What's your favorite Brant appearance?
Well,
the Luke Robson episode was an interesting episode for sure. Yeah, that was good.
I enjoyed that one. My favorite
one
Brant
of my greatest
one.
Regrets.
Honestly, I feel like all the Brant ones.
They all run together.
I mean, you guys are always just picking on the poor guy every episode.
Well, the reason we started doing that was because he demanded to be on for a third time, and then he had nothing to say.
Well, Sammy and I have just with this episode been we demanded to be on. Is this your third time? It's my third time.
Is this your third time, Jimmy?
Yeah,
I thought it was your second.
No, I was at your house that one
maybe.
time,
I don't know.
and then I'm with Brant. We called in to Sammy.
True.
And
In Albion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely order of most appearances to least appearance it's definitely Brant, Joe Papalardo, then probably Sammy. I want to say, yeah. I'm trying to think.
Why did you regret the Luke Robson episode?
Oh, I don't regret the episode as a whole. I regret not saying that sounds like gentrification when he was talking about increasing the rent on the property.
Gentrification is not necessarily a bad thing.
I don't want to get into this.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to get into this, but I was like, it sounds like you're trying to push people out who can't afford higher rent. Which, yeah.
You're like, Anubis, Zeus, I can dig it. But gentrification's where I cross the line.
Yeah.
I like that episode because of how much mileage we got out of Luke admitting to polytheism.
Yeah. That's true. He did admit to polytheism, and then he did sign up.
I'm a polytheist.
He did sign up for the highest tier of the Patreon, and then we said his name for like 4 months.
The fraudulent credit card.
Yeah, and he had not paid for 4 months. So
we love you, man.
Yeah, we love you.
Well, I recently created a piece of art that Luke has taken credit for. And it's sending to people.
Disseminated.
Yeah.
Really?
I
On his
used
Substack?
Udio, the AI music website. Have you heard of this?
Oh,
Take a
yeah.
moment
Am I
to talk
ahead
about
of the
Udio.
Brothers
No,
Strehle?
Brant was telling me that you're huge into this.
I am. I'm pretty
Yeah.
good. I've honed the craft. So, I mean, it's trained on other pieces of music. So I'm really stealing other people's art.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But it's
so
the great.
him stealing your art's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's the great systematizer. We have a place, and I made a song that I thought was fun, just like about my friends. And Luke liked it. And then word got back to me. Someone who I didn't even know said, "You have to hear this incredible song Luke Robson made." And he sends it, and it says, by SJR513. And I'm like, Luke, what does SJR stand for? I'm sure to go, hey, Soul Justice Russian.
So wait, did he say to people though that it was AI generated?
Well, everyone knows it's like you create like the song.
Yeah.
You write the lyrics. And
No, I'm
give
saying
the
like when that
prompts.
guy said you should check out the song that Luke made, did he know it was?
Oh, he knew he knew it was a website, but he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, look what Luke's so creative. Came up with this. Like,
Yeah.
getting the beef out on the podcast. brothers.
That's true.
But
That's actually kind of
It's true. It's
a
true.
major function of this show.
yeah.
I feel sick here.
Airing of grievances.
That
feel
is
sick here,
something
yeah.
that I wish that the show had done more. Is an episode in which we got two people who were on the outs with each other to squash the beef.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about that too. I mean,
that's why we brought Sammy and Jimmy on today.
Yeah.
not just triumphs, but unfulfilled hopes. Like, what do you wish this podcast had been?
I mean,
Bigger.
yeah.
I wish that people would listen to it.
I'd say we're playing footsies.
Hey, I've been an investor. I believe in
that's true.
Monomaniacs since day one.
I know you have, and it's been amazing. And honestly, the
true.
reason
Don't regret it.
that we've been making this as long as we have is because of people like you. And
yeah, because of viewers like you. Yeah, no, this is a good enough time as any. Thank you to our patrons for the support of the show over this 100 episodes.
yes.
Okay, we could not have done it without you. We probably would have stopped long ago, in all honesty. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in like you guys kept us motivated to continue making content.
Yep. The first time we skipped a week, that would have just been it.
We
probably
probably
just would have been it.
We're
Yeah.
probably gonna call it there.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, it was, and special shout out Boomer, right? Just on the ground all the time grinding for this podcast.
No, dude,
I think that was
100%.
one of the best episodes ever.
Oh, yeah, the
Part
Boomer
two
episode was
That was
awesome.
incredible.
Yes,
Boomer
Boomer
killed
did
it.
an amazing job on the
Yeah.
show. Yeah, no, he is the only guy who listens to us when we say to like and comment. He comments on every video, and you're doing God's work.
Yeah.
He actually texted me. I doubt this will ever happen, but he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to try out like video editing software and stuff. Is it okay if I make a greatest hits Monomaniacs YouTube video?" And I was like, 100%. And who knows if he's still working on it or not? But
But yeah, he was right or
that's
die.
quite the undertaking, Boomer. I would understand if you don't want to finish that.
But we love
but-
it. Yeah.
It was great.
And special shout out, of course, to all of the rest of the patrons.
Yeah.
from
Shout out
top
to
bottom.
Jake, still active on the Discord.
Mhm.
Shout out to Joe Papalardo, of course, our parents, and anybody else who's been donating all this time. We have some people who donated like early on who still have accounts, probably because they forgot. But
Who knows when the last time?
yeah,
you listened
I'm
to
sure
an
that a lot of
episode
people
was.
honestly think they're still supporting us, even though we stopped the Patreon, like Jimmy. They're like, I'm not noticing a difference of $5, but
it was only $1.
But that dollar meant the world to me, Jimothy.
Yep.
That's true. That's true.
We got a more from Brant.
Brant update. I'll be in town. Sammy and Jimmy, unless we get. He says he's going to be in town on the 3rd.
Go up.
What?
2 messages.
So those boys are closing it out with Sammy and Jimmy, or the last episode would be just those two. Sammy and Jimmy, unless we get real inspired to do another next week. And he said, I'll be in town on the 3rd.
You bastards thought you'd close out without me? Never!
What? No. I just thought, oh, come on, you guys can just sit down. Come on.
Rang to talk about the bunting you're buying for the Kiefer opening.
Yeah.
All he talks about now is the bunting.
How about this? Brant, you can come on, but it will be nothing but nonstop questions about the
Kiefer Hotel.
You will not escape
we'll
from it.
grab every community member who has posted poorly about you on Facebook. Say, one day only, full free for all, Brant
1
Cohen.
hour.
He would love that. It's the Seinfeld finale.
Yeah.
Like, everyone shows up, you know.
Talking about airing of grievances.
Yeah. So what about you, Sammy? What's your favorite episode, do you think?
I mean, I brought up Boomers just because I loved it. It was one of the few episodes where I went and I researched the Monomania afterwards, and I watched a ton of Card-Jitsu content just because Boomer did such a good job of selling it.
Yeah.
I
guess
If there is a guest who was prepared, like the guest who was the most prepared, it might have been Boomer.
Yes.
Yeah, with just he did all the research, everything put together. I mean, he had it all, right? It's great.
I liked the Dylan arc. A polarizing episode for some.
I don't know why people say
I did listen to the Dylan arc.
Yeah.
Do people say poor things about the Dylan arc?
I've only ever heard positive things about the Dylan arc.
Did I say bad things about the Dylan arc? I've made fun of the Dylan.
Jimmy didn't like the Dylan arc. That's what we know right now. This is what we're getting.
It was a 20-minute bit. That's all it was. But...
Yeah. I mean, I'm a consumer purveyor, purloiner of bits.
Yeah.
And it was impressive. Complete with soundboard, incomplete without Josh, of course.
That's true.
Yeah.
Key role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he stole his roadcaster from his job.
Well, he gave it back.
I know. Just so Dylan could do some sick,
please freestyle bits.
Some freestyle.
Sick please clap energy.
Yeah, some real please clap the episode.
No, well, so
what do you guys think about how the theme of the show has slowly but surely ceased to exist? Because some of our best episodes are themeless, but also there is a lack of direction on some of the episodes as well. But I don't know. I did enjoy being unconstrained by our guests being prepared. There were some circumstances, some people who may or may not be in this room.
Who's talking about me?
Yeah, definitely.
Who, when we got to the point where we're like, okay, well, now it's time for us to do the thing this show's about. Tell us about your white whale. What's your monomaniacal obsession? They'll be like, it's this. I've got a sentence on it. You know what I mean? Which is where, it was fine because we were just like, whatever, we'll just blow past it. We'll just do something else.
Yep.
And it worked out. And the episodes were great. Some of the episodes were great. The episode you're thinking about right now was great. But I don't know. I think I'm still on the fence on whether or not that was a good decision to move on from. But
well, I mean, I interpreted I liked playing around like what is the thesis of the show in my head, and as it shifted, things are evolving. They don't always follow the intent which their actors set out for them. They are materially conditioned. Societally, socially, culturally conditioned by gender as well and race. Not much racial diversity on this podcast, I will say that. But
our first guest,
O'Connor's pulling the weight.
Yeah, O'Connor's did pull a lot of weight for us on that one.
I think the Monomania shifted. The ostensible Monomania was that of the guests. But I think over time, the Monomania became the show itself.
In this essay, I
Sick,
will.
twisted relationship of the creators to the created.
Yeah.
Not unlike that of our creator to us.
Does God stay in heaven because he too is fears when he is created?
We watched Spy Kids the other day,
did,
actually.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really.
yeah.
Holds up.
The first Spy Kids?
The first Spy Kids
First
holds
one.
up, yeah.
Well, what about it holds up?
Uh,
Actually, Jimmy, what do you think about the first Spy Kids?
It went faster than I remember it going when I would watch it as a kid. It always seemed a lot longer.
Yeah, I imagine the movie's what, like 75 minutes long?
Yes.
I
No,
think
a little
it's
longer.
90. It's like a
Yeah,
little
90
90.
-ish.
Yeah.
I'd say 90. Yeah. I don't really have that many thoughts, honestly.
Yeah.
Wait, a lot of times.
Spy Kids, Spy Kids,
Pretty much.
Spy Kids, Titanic, movies Jimmy doesn't have any thoughts about.
Okay, well, I have thoughts. I had some thoughts about
He
Titanic.
has
but
thoughts about Jurassic Park.
That's
really?
true. That is true.
You're like, they shouldn't have done it.
They did Newman. They did Newman
Enough
completely
said.
wrong.
Yeah,
They ruined Newman.
Newman would never share his food in the wild.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Sammy, what about you? What do you think about Spy Kids?
I'm so glad you asked. It's vintage Robert Rodriguez. The weird camera angles, the cut to like a full on shot of her, like Carmen chewing the gum, just like she shoots it onto the thumb. The Fugleys, Alan Cummings being a freak,
What's new?
well suited to him. Danny Trejo, pass the big intestines. Antonio Banderas squished against the camera. It's bizarre. It's strange. That's what I liked about it. It feels like a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It feels like one big joke.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez is hilarious. I mean, I think the only other movie I've seen of his, honestly, is From Dusk Till Dawn, where he directs the second half of it.
That was all cutting his teeth for the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
True.
I forgot he directed the Book of Boba Fett. No wonder that movie
It
looks
sucked.
Yeah, no wonder that show looks so terrible. That's one thing that he's never been good at, is like making something look good.
That's the one thing he's not been good at, being a director.
Yeah. I don't know, but part of me wonders sometimes.
In Spy Kids, what's the name of the you said the Fugleys? Is it
Fugleys?
Yeah, the Fugleys.
Fugleys?
That was the guy with
Anybody else?
the hands on the side of their heads or
Yeah.
whatever.
Anybody else like get freaked the hell out by those when they were younger?
Yes.
Like to me, though, that was the most horrific part of the whole thing, was those guys, because like that first Alan Cummings kind of like acid trip scene where it's like a commercial and it's showing all the Fugleys and everything like that. I was terrified the entire time during that. That was freaky as hell to me.
Did you guys rent Spy Kids 3D from the rental store and get the little plastic 3D glasses?
Yes.
I went to a
And
Spy
watch
Kids
it.
3D birthday party.
Whoa.
When we went and saw it. So
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You
get to see Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
cake. No, I mean it's the episode. It was one of the first films that I remember. Spy Kids as a little kid. So
I could see that.
Yeah.
For me,
yeah.
it's Land Before Time. I will.
Films you remember, as in films you remember what? Like seeing in
Like,
theaters?
watching all the time. I don't know.
Wait, when you say, oh, you
one
say
of the first
Spy
ones I remember
Kids.
watching. It's like that and Ice Age are the two films
Oh,
I
the
remember
original
watching
Spy
all the
Kids.
time. Yeah.
I thought you said Spy Kids 3. I'm like, that's a weird timeline.
No.
No, yeah. Definitely Land Before Time. Bob the Builder.
Bruce Cruise.
Bruges Cruise?
Yep.
Anybody else want to go to Booze Cruise? Right. Speaking of, pass me the freaking bullet bourbon. dude.
I watched
Full
Willy
ride.
Wonka and the Chocolate Factory so many times as a kid. We burnt the VHS tape out, and it was no longer viewable by the time my mom
The
threw it
original
away.
one?
The original one, Gene
Gosh.
Wilder.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's kind of a terrifying movie.
It is horrifying, the boat scene. But what I always was really scared when Augustus Gloop got stuck in the pipe.
the shit river.
Yep.
That movie is, I don't know. That movie's insane. Gene Wilder's performance is just out of control the whole time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid, I didn't realize it, but I still enjoy watching that movie.
Yeah, I watched it again recently, like in the last 2 years, and I was like, this really holds up. This is really a solid film.
Yeah.
You can ask me why it holds up, Shad?
Yeah, why does it hold up?
Because of its impeccable acting. It's well paced, both script and just shots in general. The music is placed perfectly throughout the film, and it just drives. Like the whole thing just moves really well. And again, it's got such beautiful whimsy, and Gene Wilder kills it all the way through. He eats up the scenery in such a way that it's like Marlon Brando in The Godfather. It shouldn't work, but it does. That's my.
All right, Sammy, what's your monomaniacal obsession?
Wait, really?
No, I don't know. Sure. How much time do we have left? We were 6 minutes over.
Wow.
Do we even want to bother recording a Patreon, or do we just want to keep this going? Is there something that you guys want to talk about in the Patreon?
Apparently, there's no donors left to get the Patreon episode.
Well, they still get it.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Oh.
they just don't have to pay for it.
Oh.
You would, because you're at the $1 tier. But
Proudly at the $1 tier. Hey, how much does Brant Cohen give to this show?
Nothing. He's never given anything.
He's never
I think
once.
one. Let's
No,
not
no.
air the man's financial contributions out on the podcast, okay? I think that's one step too far.
Hey, Brayden, how about this? You give us $250. We'll sit down with you on June 3rd, okay? How about that?
Yeah, I'll say that. I mean, I do love how he has haunted this show.
That's true.
Like, nary an episode goes by where he's not mentioned. His presence, if he's not mentioned, his presence is felt.
Yeah.
You know, the hand of Brant looms large.
I feel like this episode would not be complete. Maybe we should just tell him to record himself in front of his laptop camera. Just kind of
Brant set off.
pontificating.
Yeah.
Well, I dreamed an ending for this show where we all exited and Brant walked in and sat down in the chair and went,
I thought
"Finally, Mashugana!"
I thought I dreamt that.
Oh, really? Oh. Call me Luke Robson.
Goodness. Well, is there anything you want to say, Shad, to the listeners to close this out as a sort of final goodbye?
100 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm getting kind of emotional when you start talking about that way. Thank you, I guess. Thank you so much for paying attention. Sorry if we ever said anything that made you hate us or scared you away. I hope that didn't happen. I hope we brought you joy. And, in some ways, somebody might view something like this as more of an exercise for us. And in some ways it is, it's something that we enjoy and whatnot. But it's nothing in a vacuum. And we're just happy that you spent the time with us over these last couple of years. It's been a really big couple of years in our lives. We've grown a lot. We've changed a lot. And I'm sure that you guys kind of saw that happen if you've been listening since the beginning and if you've, are more recent, even then. So I appreciate it. Appreciate every moment.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that with a thank you. This isn't the end for stuff that Shad and I do. This is an end of this chapter where we're at. Something else will come along. Maybe
that thing might just be Monomaniacs, the podcast in 6 months.
Yeah,
who knows?
Who knows?
If that is the case, and we will have a plan.
We're gonna come in with a plan.
Yeah.
If it's not, who knows? It could be 6 months from now. Could be 2 years from now. Who knows? Something will come along.
Yeah. Actually, our sons are going to reach age of reason, and then they'll be the ones hosting the show.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna do.
It's a family business.
This has been an awesome thing that I do every week. I've loved it. Even during the hard times, it's been good. It's been fun, and being able to see so many people that I would lose touch with usually on the podcast opens up so many doors in regards to personal relationships. And the fact that me getting told that X person in my life listened to it and enjoyed themselves makes any episode worth it. I heard from Sammy that he really liked that joke you did in this episode. That's enough to make my day and make that episode worthwhile and recording.
I heard from Dr. Gabler, a math professor at Hillsdale College last week, who listened to the episode with Andrew Fink on it. And I was not thinking we were being very funny, but apparently every Gen Xer who has listened to that episode thought it was the funniest thing they have ever heard.
I texted the chat about this afterwards. I said, Fink did the most elaborate shit post this podcast has ever seen.
I know. And
he came in completely straight faced with zero prepared, really. And it was just a bit. But he did it so straight-laced that I think anybody would think it was serious who didn't know.
And I mean, I've heard from multiple elder millennials, young Gen Xers who are all like, "That's the funniest thing I've ever heard." So I don't know. I didn't even think it was that funny. I was there. I was in the room. I'm glad that we could do that for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that we could, provide that. And again, it's been an awesome thing to do with my week. It's brought, I think, everybody I've been involved with in this podcast closer. And I hope that we can continue to do that. And I'll miss it. I'll miss it for sure. It's been a good way to get out of the house and do something. So that sounds very diminished in its scope or impact, but that means a lot, in anybody's life. So thank you all. So I don't really know where to go from there in regards to pacing.
Let's do like one big Monomaniacs.
One big shout of
thanks to Joel Calvert for giving us the Monomaniacs scream. He created it, but maybe we should hit him with a Monomaniacs.
Just one final Monomaniacs scream.
Yes.
Right.
All
Okay.
right. All right. 1, 2, 3. Monomaniacs!